Hello, folks. Cool. If you're joining me today, you know what we're doing. We're playing Rise of the Golden Idol to wrap up the final case scenario of the DLC, The Age of Restraint. Without further ado, let's get into it. So, just a quick recap. Yesterday we ended the Sentience Gambit, in which Heko Sift staged a robbery of the Sentinels' spaceship, in which they lifted the artifacts with the use of the Golden Idol, which made its first appearance. I believe last we saw was this map of Lemuria and the other zones on the planet, but keeping in mind that it's from the ancient times. So as we're at the end of the story here, or rather we're at the final case scenario that shows up, unsure. I mean, we know that there's going to be a big reveal or big solve that comes after the last scenario, but unsure if there's maybe more to discover once we get into it. Without further ado, consequences. Disobedience sows chaos. Okay. Okay. Interesting. So we see a giant, sort of like maze, yeah, I'd say it's a maze. What's at the center here is a harvester with a sort of string attached to the trigger, some memory discs, and a body of Heko Sift. The man is not breathing. If his head's here, what's... looked like it tried to target his leg of some sort. What's this diagram? Monument to Humanity. Off to the right here. Data disk factory. Warning, tracking dead zone. Okay. Data Guardian's office. And the Tanska family orchard, which we see down here. Ooh. There's a number of bodies that look fused together. The Golden Idol, which is empty, and it's set to give all memories. The idol we saw yesterday was red, which if this blue means it's empty, then that means that they took the memories, which tracks with our solve that they wiped the memory bank. We see the artifacts, and the men are not breathing. And I believe this was Mr. Blue and Mr. Green, with a phaser or blaster that has one shot missing, and a full data disk. Okay. And that looks like Tanska Farms, because we know the harvester here has the same bar on it. Now, it also looks like maybe this got obliterated. If the harvester was set to go in this direction, it could have hit a very wide range. Let's go this way. Okay, the spacecraft from yesterday. Flight recorder will record for several minutes after crash. And we see a number of statements in the black box of sorts. The Sentinel ship, but we were so far ahead, how did they find us? Don't call me that. Look at this place, it's perfect. For now, at least. Let's go. Okay, so all the statements are out of order. Hey, don't blame me, maybe they just got lucky. Is everybody okay? Are the artifacts intact? Check all 6. Are they alright? Isn't it obvious how? Don't you see, Arg? You had one job. 5 more that do that, and we don't need Mr. Deadweight anymore. Deadweight here anymore. Take it. Hey, see that billboard? That explains what one of our artifacts does. No, thanks to you. Where did you get your license? If I could read without stuttering. You know what's not happened. You know that's not what happened. Give me that map. We need to hide. Listen, idiot, we were shot. It's a miracle I got us this far. And will you two stop bickering? Look behind us. Is that? Surely it can't be. Okay. And we'll take a quick look at the billboard here. The Pipok 23 teleporting harvester. Effective, safe, and legal. Teleports fruit straight from tree to storage bin. Which we know. Okay. I think we can start piecing some of this together. And as we remember the character Mr. Black from yesterday, we know as Heko Sift. Okay. Assuming, look behind us. The Sentinel ship. Top to bottom is maybe the correct order for start to end. 5 more that do that. This seems like a proper-ish order so far. Because they say, look behind us, the ship. Don't you see you had one job? Don't blame me. Saying they got lucky. They know that's not what happened. Maybe we could start here. Take it. Hey, see that billboard? Will you two stop bickering? The Sentinel ship. How did they find us? We were shot. It's a miracle I got us this far. No. How did they find us? Isn't it obvious how? You had one job. Listen, we were shot. It's a miracle I got us this far. No thanks to you. No thanks to you. Where did you get your license? Shuffle these just a tiny bit. Oh, let me just pull these back. Where did you get your license? Hey, don't blame me. No. I don't think he would make statements back to back, so he would contradict himself. So let's pull this out. No thanks to you. Listen, we were shot. It's a miracle I got us this far. Well, let's come back to that. Continue exploring. Okay, back at the library. First statue we saw. Second statue. Third and fourth. We saw these on day 2. Mega Miner user manual. Okay, first page here. Lot to talk about. Some nodes. Mega Miner robot can be programmed either using visual or traditional scripting. Figures below and right show how the default mining function looks in each case. To trigger this function, use the following lines of code, remembering to replace both bracketing parameters with ones you require. Run mine dreadworm, ruby. Okay. Alternatively, you can write your own functions in the built-in commands, which are detailed on the next page. Default mining functions: find if found equals nothing, walk, return to start. If found equals obstacle. Okay, so find is like a switch statement here. So if try case or switch case, if obstacle is found, destroy. If being is found, identify. If the identified target is not equal to target 1, discard. If identified target is the target, kill, destroy, return to start. And then if gem is found, identify. If identified does not equal target 2, discard. And if I've identified equals target 2, clean, store, return to start. Okay. So I think we can sort of dive into this diagram from that. This bar at the top corresponds to, oops, pull up the words here. Oops. Okay, we're looking for the dark gray words. Bar at the top corresponding to find, the big statement. And then following the indent, these 4 indicate 1, 2, 3, 4. So if this is found equals nothing. Okay, I see. So this one and this one can either be if found equals nothing or found equals obstacle. Either walk or destroy. If found being equals, if found equals being, so they both have this identify command. So, okay, let me explain. Find, the result of find is one of these 4 gems, gem symbols. Additionally, then, the command that follows what the truth statement is, or the equivalency of the if statement, yields the function below. So we can discern that because these are both the same, and follow into a larger sort of like tree that they're both identify, if you follow me. Then, because okay, we can also go one step further, because both identifies here have the if identified does not equal the designated target, discard and return to start. These both have the same pattern of the like C gem and this like what we could call is maybe like a barbell. So we can say discard, and if this is not target, which leaves the inner side here of if they are the target. So this gem, the six-faceted piece, is the target. And additionally, we saw here, destroy is repeated twice. And we see this symbol twice. So we can identify then that the double squiggle, or like double tilde, is the destroy command, which then, working backwards, if the identified target is target 1 and it's a being, so we can maybe start from top down. The star gem is being, and if the being is the target, kill. So this green with 2 bars and 4 dots is an instruction for kill. That means on this side, this identify statement yields that the 3-faceted gem here is gem, identify gem, if the gem is the target, first one being clean, and then the store command. That leaves this one here if the nothing, whoops, I forgot this gem could be obstacle, because we have obstacle destroy. If nothing, then this leaves the command to be walk. Correct. Perfect. Alright, on page 2 here, command and description. So clean, Megaminer polishes gem to radiant shine with 0 damage. Destroy, Megaminer uses latest laser blast technology to quickly remove any obstacle. Discard tells Megaminer to drop whatever it's holding or to leave alone whatever it's identifying. Find tells Megaminer to search its current area using advanced eyesight technology. Identify, upon identification, Megaminer marks specified targets with an X symbol and non-targets with an O symbol. Is that a physical mark? Hard to say. Kill Instant humane death via laser blast technology, useful against gem-eating nasties. Okay. Store Megaminer can hold up to 8,000 geoweights of raw gemstone material, and obviously the walk command prompts Megaminer to walk forward 3 paces. Okay, we saw this already. Let's check here. Looks like a holding store. The circle, which is non-targets with an O, but that's weird that it's, well, I guess this is an example of what the commands are. So non-targets get stored in a holding cell. They're all clearly not happy. You will answer, you caused this, make it stop. Look what you've done, Patala, this is all your fault. And we know Bethab said that. Insolent child, I did it in the name of the law, which is false. Don't you understand? I did not show you his evil dreams. Did I not show you his evil dreams? Okay, looking inside, we see some commands given here. What look like dates, maybe times, I can't remember the exact format. So it's either 11:14 a.m. or on the date of, no, it's probably time of day. Verbal input received, I am a lawful citizen, I am a sentinel, I am not intoxicated. So that's all confirmed. Verbal command, set operator authorization to Patala Kib. Run justice function from chip. Running justice with Hecko shift as the parameter. Patala Kib. Statement error, so he can't, so once this justice program that Hecko Sift programmed in, or function, Patala can't seem to get in. I am Patala Kib. Never in my life have I even thought about touching narcotics. Same. Authorization confirmed. Receive command stop all functions. And we see this function here. So pulling from the nodes, we can see the find command yields 3 case statements using a switch equivalency. So if we find nothing, walk, pretty standard, return to start. If we find an obstacle, destroy, return to start. If we find a being, identify the being. If the being is not a target, store them. If the being is a target, kill them. Then, weird. Then there's this kind of like catch-all if statement. If all previous commands perform successfully, then stop. Otherwise, find. I see. So it looks like the justice program is designed to find Hecko Sift and kill him. Otherwise, do not stop collecting people. Dark. Okay, in the tube we see Daria. She is not a target. And Ethem, right? I am a lawful citizen. My name is Patalakib. I have never in my life even thought about touching narcotics. So these are all false statements because he's not Patalakib, which means he's got the hacked Veridola. Dear Diary, today has been crazy. First, a sentinel I've never seen before entered my cell, removed the idol using circular saw. On his way out, he said to me, "You saw nothing, but it's strange. I could have sworn his Veridola glowed green as he said that." So he saw Mr. Red with the hacked Veridola. Not long after, I heard people running around and then gunshots. All the while, I just stayed in my cell, frozen in fear. That was a while ago. We're experiencing terrible turbulence now. I'm done sitting around. I'm going to try and sneak out and see what's going on. Okay. He's at here. Okay, the input command. And the Mega Miner shutting down in 3, 2, 1. So he's calling someone. Right? Weird. Echo Sift is the target, but it looks like he already zapped his brain somewhere else. Right? Because we remember the red eyes indicate that their being went somewhere else. And then maybe they tried to get an escape. Ah, Heko Sift had the data disk full. So if we remember from the original story, what was his name? I'm blanking on his name, but it was the gentleman. Here, let me go back to the main menu real quick and show you. I think it was... No, I think it was in the DLC, right? The Sins of New Wells. Here, Oriel Toussaint, right? Whoa. Hey, we remember these. Okay. He speaks Albanian. By giving him access to a typewriter, he types out large passages in Albanian and Lemurian, and is compiling them into one larger work. The amiable Oriel seems excited about what he is writing, describing it as wondrous crumbs from a devil. The dog track. I think, well, no, actually, wait. Yeah, it was in here, right? Because in the unraveling, right, they had the... Yeah, right here. Because Oreo had been completely yeah, see, I am Echo Secunda. Echo, Heko. So it's like Heko's an anagram, but Secunda Sift. Not exactly the same. But you see the stories start to weave together which makes me excited for the final DLC here. Sorry, I'm getting ahead of myself. Let's go back and finish this solve first before we move on. Yeah. Okay, let's do these words first. Mr. Deadweight probably. Where did you get your license? If it's not Mr. Green and Deadweight is Hecko, I'm gonna go with this assumption here. Okay. And this is assuming that Mr. Green is the pilot making the Brown statements, because we were shot, it's a miracle I got us this far. Probably a comment on his piloting skills. Okay. Okay, take it. Hey, see that billboard? I think we're missing one at the start here, right? They had one about 6 artifacts. Is everybody okay? Are the artifacts intact? Check all 6. Are they alright? Take it. Hey, no. I'm assuming there's not going to be like a back-to-back statement by the same person. Take it. Hey, see that billboard? That explains what one of the artifacts does. 5 more that do that. We won't need Mr. Deadweight. Don't call me that. Look at this place. It's perfect. Let's go. Alright, we can say this. Look behind us. Sentinel ship. How did they find us? Isn't it obvious? You had one job. Hey, don't blame me. Maybe they got lucky. You know that's not what happened. Give me that map. We need to hide. Listen, we were shot. It's a miracle I got us this far. No thanks to you. Wait. We need to hide. Give me that map. Take it. This explains what one of the artifacts does. Five more, because there's 6 total, so 1 artifact. 5 more that do that, and we won't need Mr. Deadweight here anymore. Don't call me that. Look at this place, it's perfect. Shuffle everything down. I think then that we can maybe go like this. 2 or fewer incorrect. That's a good sign. Back-to-back statements by Brown here. We can swap these 2. Okay, perfect. They argue about the artifacts and the driving, and then get caught by the ship, and then find a place to land. And it looks like they kind of crashed. Now we can talk about the escape. When blank, blank, and blank, Mr. Green, Mr. Blue, and Hecko Sift realized that someone was being Hecko Sift was being tracked. They left the ship. No, they entered the data disk factory, right? Because it was a dead tracking zone. A dead zone. Once inside, blank and blank did something to blank. Then, using the blank, they maybe we can assume that Mr. Blue and Mr. Green transferred Hecko Sift? No. They shot Hecko Sift in the leg because we saw the shot on the knee with a red phaser that was here with one shot. Then using the golden idol, they transferred all Hecko Sift's memories to a data disk, which is something we know given that this was a data disk factory. They have a full disk and an empty idle. Also, given the pattern from the early main game, they did this because they needed blank because he knew the something of something, but he could not have done something without being something. I see. They needed Hecko Sift because he knew the locations of the something, but he could not have left the factory / dead zone without being tracked. Finally using the harvester, they teleported to the orchard. Okay. We're looking for one other thing. The statements here. Probably artifacts. Dead zone, factory, probably an interchangeable statement. So we're close. So they entered the factory because it's a dead zone. Once inside, blue and green shot Hecko. I'm curious if the box of artifacts, so it's only organic matter that gets intertwined, I guess. So once inside, blue and green shot Hecko. That's true. Using the golden idol, they transferred all of Hecko's memories to a data disk. Sure. They did this because they needed Hekosift since he knew the blank of the blank. Maybe we could say plans of the Sentinels. Not quite. But he could not have left the dead zone, the factory. Let's try this once more. We'll leave it as factory without being tracked. Maybe we try locations of the artifacts. Plans. No. Don't guess here, Ava. Okay. Using the harvester. He knew the location, memories, artifacts, plans, sentinels of the functions. The functions of the robot and factory. No. Hecko's in blue. So they're like trying to find 5 teleporters or something. 5 more that do that, and we won't need Mr. Deadweight. So they think that Hecko's deadweight, except for the fact that Hecko knows something about the remaining artifacts. So is there the functions of the artifacts? Aha. Could not leave the factory. Curious if it would let me. No. Okay. Finally, we have the function of the robot. No. Patala programmed the robot to identify, find, identify, then kill Hekosift before it could stop. Because of the blank, because the blank had been where did we see the here? I see. So he's not intoxicated, but it is a true statement. So he, with the inverted Veridola, leads it to be a false statement, invalidating the command. Because he's trying to make false statements that invert to true, I see. Because the robot had been Because the robot had been used on Heko, the robot failed to kill Heko because he was already dead. Etham tried to stop it but couldn't, having just Statement 1 error. Inside, we saw Statement 1. To avoid hypocrisy to their sacred mission, handling unsanctioned technology is outside of a Sentinel's duty. He did it in the name of the law, which is false. So maybe Patala did try to stop it first, but failed. Violated the first statute. Finally, Etham, by using the Veridola that had been previously miscalibrated. Okay. So Patala programmed the robot to find, identify, and kill. Functions. Find, identify, and kill Hekosift before it could stop. Because the golden idol had been used on Hekosift, the robot failed its task to kill Hekosift. Maybe it couldn't identify. Find. So the rampage continued. Patala tried to stop it, but couldn't, having violated the first statute. Statement 1 error. Set authorization to Patala Kib only. I did it in the name of the law. Okay, we're close here. If this was Etham that's trying to stop it, false statement identified as true, false statement identified as true, true statement identified as false. have a feeling this is the second. Okay. So it was statement 3, which is that they can't go outside the purview of their own. So by taking the law into his own hands, he violated and was not a law-abiding citizen. Yeah, so the mining robot got stuck in an infinite loop of destroying buildings and capturing people because Patala had programmed it to not stop until it killed Heko, which was impossible because the idol had already extracted all of his memories. Fortunately, Etham realized he could trick the robot into accepting his commands by lying to it while wearing the temporary Veridola from the heist. This way he managed to end what would otherwise have been a cycle of endless destruction. Cool. 1 year later, Patala is on trial. What do you think he was trying to achieve? Anything I say will be pure speculation. We'll never know what motivated that heretic. Okay. Finally, we have this last solve. The big one. Heko Sift wanted to do something to all someone. In order to do something, the blank, then the where was the okay, Heko Sift here. Old-timer speech about ending the restraint policy. Downplaying that he was being ironic. Soon all Lemurians agree we have the power, but we are unwilling to use it. This cannot stand. The strong must dominate the weak. And he's kind of shy about it because he doesn't want to get caught by Patala. So, and then wanted to free all Lemurians. No. He wanted to convince all Lemurians to abolish the restraint policy and then so, breaking the restraint policy, which releases Lemuria over the world to smite the goblins, and then conquer the world. With this diagram, something here in this diagram. Oh, where's the... Oh, I did not need to see that again. This is what I wanted. So maybe he used the convincer. to put it in a quafizer to turn it into a vapor, liquid or vapor, and cloud printer. That can be explained by the convincer outputting the argument into lists, which then the quafizer turns into a liquid, which the cloud printer then distributes into the air. And we see this gentleman, who's maybe Hecko Reborn, comes in to kill Mr. Red and Mr. Blue with the phaser, using the ideals into the cloud, turns everybody into conformists. Then, with the nation conformed to the ideals, it expands across the globe. However, that is not what happened, because Hecko got trapped inside the data disk and was suspended there permanently because Mr. Red and Mr. Blue became dead due to being transported and malformed. And then, trapped in the data disk with the ideals of conquering the world, Echo Secunda and Jack, I'm not going to remember his last name, stumbled upon that data disk. What do we see here? You could have improved so many lives with your wondrous knowledge from Lemuria of the past. Barbarian or present weakling, Lemurian, pah! The last true Lemurian died with me thousands of years ago. Then perhaps it's for the best that none will access that knowledge anymore. And we see the ideals in the wind. Thank you for playing the Age of Restraint. Cool. Just some final thoughts. That does lead us back to the very beginning, where we see Auriel Toussaint, who is speaking what appears to be Old Lemurian, breaking out of a mental institution. So I believe that does set us up for the final DLC here. I'm very excited to see what the story brings. The thrilling conclusion to the rise of the Golden Idol. Yeah, I'm always impressed with this game. Just the story in itself, the music, the art, and the puzzle difficulty is always a thrill. So yeah, if you enjoyed, let me know. I'll try to stream the last DLC whenever it comes out. But until then, I thank you for joining, and I'll catch you on the flip side.